Hello, how are you? And you're all very welcome back to Ireland and to the collection, the P S Gilmore collection and his story and so on. And today we're going to look quickly at some of my collection. I can't show it all. I don't have enough time and I don't think you'd have enough patience to look at it. However, it does really give you an insight into what America, or for that matter, most of the world was like at that time. They had no phones, no laptops, no computers, no Excels, none of what we take for granted today, and yet they managed to create this wonderful event. So we're going to have a quick look at it. I hope you enjoy my glasses from my grandfather. Approximately World War I or just before it, and they have absolutely no magnification characteristics whatsoever, so I'm wondering, did they wear them at that time for effect? But anyway, I'll keep them on for the moment and see how long I stand them. Today we're going to also look at how this collection is as believable, I suppose, as it is, because it's fairly well complete. And if anyone has any questions, please email me at gilmoresband@gmail.com, or indeed send me a note, whatever, it doesn't matter. Like and subscribe as well if you enjoy this. So here we have the first day of the World Peace Jubilee, the Great National Day. Now I'm not taking these out of their folders. The reason being, most of these papers should not survive. They are like tissue, but they have one thing in favour of them. They're made of cotton. They're rag paper. So that has helped their survival. The less acid off my hands and so on and so forth that they get exposed to, the better chance. I've also scanned them. So there is a computer copy of them. So we'll just run through these. The first day, Great National Day, June 17th. Second day, June 18th, English Day. The third day, there's a couple of copies of that actually. I was very lucky. June the 19th, German Day. June the 20th, French Day. June the 21st, Austrian Day. June the 22nd, Russian Day. This was also the day, the first day that the Jubilee singers appeared, and they were booed and harangued, and I think the proper word is abused from the auditorium. But anyway, that's June the 22nd. June the 23rd, the Grand Sacred Concert. Oratorio Day, June 24th. 25th is the official program day. June the 24th. I'm just checking something here. Yes. June the 25th, they came off the stage. The first thing the workers in the stadium did was they moved all the chairs aside, etc., because the next night, which was June the 26th, they needed to prepare for the World Peace Jubilee Ball. And there's a ticket if anyone wants to go. A gentleman and a lady there, this ticket is for, and an additional gentleman, or sorry, an additional lady is $3. It's a $5 for two and $8 for three. Next concert was June the 27th, 28th, 29th. Now, No concert after that until July the 1st. Why? Because they were getting ready for other events that were going to happen, and the next one was July the 1st, and that was Irish Day. Irish Day was a huge success, not because the Irish band was particularly talented, they were actually awful, but they did their best, and the population of Irish was such in Boston at the time that they packed it, absolutely packed it out. And one of the people that was there that day was indeed Horace Greeley. July the 2nd was Italian Day. July the 3rd, no other name than official program. July the 4th, Great National Day. Now this was the most unusual probably of all of the days because there was 4 concerts that day. Then the first of the two raising money for their trip home, etc., etc. The band of La Garde Républicaine, led by Monsieur Paulus, and there's that program. And this is my most prodigious, I suppose, program. It's the Johann Strauss program from July the 6th, 1872. So that gives you an idea. This is a very, very complete collection, and the only particular program that I'm now wondering about, but less so in time, there was supposed to be another benefit concert for the Irish band on July the 7th. There's no record of it. I cannot find a concert program. At this stage, I very much doubt that it actually took place. But that's it for now in terms of programs in the World Peace Jubilee. If you've got any more information of that, and by the way, if you have any family history in regards to the World Peace Jubilee, will you let me know, please? Because I'm very interested in such. Now, the people that were there of importance, CDVs, these are very important. A man called Franz Abt, a very famous German composer at the time. He composed on he conducted on 2 or 3 occasions. He was very highly regarded in the Prussian Empire at the time, and a big hit at the also in Boston because of a piece of music that he had composed, Where Follows Fly. This here, another one of the Boston composers, of course, Mr. Strauss himself, Herr Strauss, with his massive sideburns. Eben Tourget, Conservatory of Music of Massachusetts, later on, great friend of Gilmore's, and a hugely important person in terms of the development of the choirs, not just for Massachusetts but throughout America. Gilmore, these are all called CDVs, with the exception of this, which is a cabinet photograph. Gilmore, this is a pianist from England called Arabella Goddard, and she was one of 2 pianists that played in the World Peace Jubilee. The other being, I haven't got a picture of him, Franz Bendel. And here is one of the sopranos, the leading sopranos of the event, Adelaine Phillips. She later would retire and die peacefully in outside, I believe, Cardiff, Wales. And they would also get the choirs when they were getting ready to come, some of them got maybe to prepare them for the shock of the size of the Colosseum. They got a picture of the Colosseum itself. I mean, it was the biggest building by far in America. Now, when the choirs were being trained, they all got sent these books, the World Peace Jubilee books, and in those books, all of their parts were outlined. And if I can pick a piece here, tenor, alto, bass, and soprano, they were all included there for the particular parts. In this case, the chorus for Sleepers Wake, a Voice is Calling. In this somewhere or other, if I could find it, probably won't be able to. Here's an Irish one, The Harp That Once Through Tara's Halls. So they all received this with a list of instructions what to do. And the instructions weren't just about singing, they were about the organization of the choirs and about the choruses that were being formed at this moment in time. For instance, they needed a treasurer, they needed an accompaniment, so they had to hire a pianist and a piano. They needed a secretary to handle the correspondence and so on and so forth. And once all of these things were in place, then they got their instructions. For instance, please read and retain about the chorus tickets, admitting to the chorus seats of the Jubilee itself. So that's instructions about the chorus tickets. In this case, because these instructions have now gone to West Roxbury area, members of the West Roxbury Union needing tickets, where exactly those tickets should be bought. Again, these different choirs, they would get a handbook, one handbook per choir on the World Peace Jubilee, with all of the details of the World Peace Jubilee itself. The detailed instructions are truly incredible. In this case, for instance, we have to the chorus, in justice to all parties and especially to a few societies who have been disappointed in the receipt of their tickets at the time promised, the superintendent deems it proper to explain, and it goes on. And it's signed by the man with the cabinet photograph, Eben Tourget. And on this side, chorus rules and regulations. And over here, an individual letter. Again, it's signed Eben Tourget. Very, very important individual. To the ladies and gentlemen comprising the grand chorus. So that is very important information for the development of this festival. Now, when they were ready and when those choruses had, if you like, developed to the degree that they would be accepted for their final audition, and there was a final audition in Boston, they were sent tickets. There's a ticket for the tenor, and another ticket for the tenors, and 2 tickets for the sopranos. Not the show, but for the section, the sopranos. And here we have a couple of tickets for the bass section. And I should point out, on these tickets, it goes so far as to, I don't know if you can pick that up, what door you go in, what slip when you go inside the door you are. So there's little likelihood, if you follow the instructions, that you'll get lost. Now bear in mind that's very important, because there's 22,000 people in the chorus. When you go to, you noticed probably on this that each of these tickets are numbered. For instance, here's number 1 or 7. I'm not quite sure, 1 it is. And this one here is number 10. However, supposing you weren't on every day, and I presume that there were days that you were active or that you had off or whatever it is, you could get into the actual event. And here is the chorus ticket for particular, that were never used actually, and that allowed people, this ticket actually was signed, it's faint at the moment, but so they could get in any day and enjoy the proceedings. Now bear in mind that each day was different, it had a different number. That's no good to you if you want to get in every day on ticket number 10. Because, for instance, here's ticket number 1. They sent out packets of tickets, and they were, in the old-fashioned way, they were tied up with little string. And this little string was never broken. And so I still have the string from 150 years ago. I'm very proud of that retrieval. You also got ribbons, and these ribbons have faded and changed in colour at the time, but the ribbons would also give another indication as to what section you were in. Here's one for another section, and it's in green. So, now, if you went and you had enough money to buy a season's ticket, you're a general customer, one of the public, you could buy one of these tickets for 50 or 100 euros and be a major benefactor to the event and to the organisers. Here's one of the season tickets for the International Musical Festival. Now, why is this so pristine? Because it was never used. And this ticket here, it shows where exactly your ticket is for, certain balcony, certain slip, certain section, and certain slip. So that one was never used. Now, this one here, and I don't know if you can pick out there, but the ticket has holes in it and a corner cut off it purposely. In fact, this ticket was used 12 times, which was fairly incredible. In the World Peace Jubilee itself, there was a press corps, and the press corps is very important because this is one of the first events where there was actually a press corps, and the press corps was as important as this would become worldwide. I'll just focus in on this, so just give me a second. And it basically, here we have, if you can pick this out, the World Peace Jubilee and International Musical Festival, etc., etc., preliminary announcement. This hung in the press room. And in this press room, there was over 180 newspapers from all over America, Canada, and Europe. And there were 10 or 12 telegraph machines, and they were going constantly. Telegrams going all over the world, telling the story of the World Peace Jubilee. And on this here it says, this is for later on the 4th of July, it's hardly necessary to state the preparations for this great event, having required the constant application for months of the thousands who are participating in this, etc., etc. And it mentions the 20,000 voices and Johann Strauss down here, the most powerful organ ever built. And it's really selling the actual event to the reporters of the event and putting the best case forward for Boston as a centre of culture throughout the world. So when that happened, it really spread the great word of Boston around the world and its importance in regards music. One of the things that the Bostonians did was, for instance, they had a post office in this press room. By the way, this is a copy of one of the pieces of one of the posters. And so, for instance, here we have complimentary to the press of the United States in attendance at the International Peace Jubilee, to a certain newspaper man signed by, and I haven't traced him on the committee yet, but I will. So there's that. And here. So a lovely piece of memorabilia from the period. Also, when you went into the event itself, there were two very important people inside in the event I haven't mentioned yet. You knew where your seat was, at least from the ticket, but you couldn't find it. So who did you ask? You asked the usher. And here is the usher's ribbon. Very important man with his little star up at the top. This usher's ribbon is in very sad state. However, it's never going to come out of here, and I've purposely put it in here for ad infinitum for however long it lasts. So the usher, and there were a couple of hundred ushers throughout the stadium. Again, they took care of their clients, and they were making the rule book up as they went along. Now, if I'm just making this statement up, if you lost your handbag or your purse or your wallet, if they had a wallet at the time, who would you contact? Well, nowadays you'd contact the local constabulary. In those days you would do this very same thing. This is the marshal of the World Peace Jubilee from 150 years ago. And all of these guys, they're mentioned inside in that beautiful book that I had there a second ago, the guide book for the World Peace Jubilee in Boston, the little orange one. And it's a very, very important little document because it gives so much detail about the actual event itself. Now, one other little thing. When you came out of the Peace Jubilee, there was basically little stores around the place, and nowadays we'd have fast food and we'd have burger joints and hamburgers and every type of food possible. I cannot find what food they had, but I know that you could, somewhere here I have a fan, which I can't find at the moment, but this fan was actually sold at the World Peace Jubilee, as were other things, and I'll show you a few of them. Now, if you were, and I'll stand up because I actually don't want to touch it. That little mirror there would hang on a lady's breast and allow her to powder her nose and check how her makeup was while and behind it is a little silk World Peace Jubilee with the date on it. And here we have a committee member's badge. There was only about a dozen in that committee. That's a very important little badge. And if you went outside, you could buy, and you can see the difference here between these two. These are two tokens. You can see by the different glint on the two tokens that first of all they're made of different metal. One is base metal, the other is a step up from that. The second difference is that one has a bar on the token to literally have the flag of the United States on it. And those tokens, I'll just put this one down, were very important because on one side we had the composers from the different countries: Beethoven, Mozart, Verdi, Haydn, Wagner, Mendelssohn, etc. And on the other side you had the countries. And this is where Gilmore is definitely involved, because on the left hand side here it says England, Wales, Ireland, France, I think it's these glasses. We weren't a country at the time, but he includes us as a country. Much to annoy all and sundry, I'd say. Now, this is the same medal, but again, a different metal. And again, you see the beautiful little American flag. So, just put these back here. And so you could get mementos of the actual event, and so I suppose appreciate the event more than you had before. Now, when I was checking this, and I can't obviously show you all of the newspapers that I have, but one of the things that I did was I bought the newspaper. I bought the newspaper not of one day of the event, but of the complete year in 1872. And this here is indeed just that. It is the whole year of 1872. And why did I do this? Because I wanted to find out what exactly was going on in 1872. Here we are up to May etc., etc., and get an idea of something. Here's the World Peace Jubilee International Musical Festival at Boston from June, etc., etc. So it's the first advertisement that's happening here. And some wonderful portraits of Ulysses S. Grant and Henry Wilson, who had just been elected. Here is a little bit of humour from the World Peace Jubilee. Here are, for instance, all of the bands from different countries marching in, and you had the French and the Germans, the Prussians, I should say. You had the singers warming up in their little like the what they call it, the little birds, and the various instruments, and of course they were bigger than ever created, and so on. And at the same time, it also gives you an idea. Now we're up to July the 6th, and we'll see what happens. The event is now over, and so we see, oh, there's something here. Again, more sarcasm and more detail about the Jubilee here. And it gives you a wonderful idea of what America was like at that time and what a big effect this had. So, let me see, there's something here, I think. If I can find it. Oh, it's giving out about poor Boston. It's evident that New York will never forgive Boston. The offence is not so much in what Boston says or does, as it is in the fact of being at all. 3 years ago, there was a colossal mammoth concert in Boston, and it goes into the detail. And this is once more Boston versus New York. Who is more culturally enriched? The hub of Boston or Gotham of New York. And so this will have given you some idea of the Jubilee. I hope you've enjoyed it. Next week we're going to have, if you don't mind, one final report of what Boston was like. I'm not going to tell you how I'm going to do that, but I am going to do it, and will be realistic, and it'll be views that you will never have seen before. So, thank you very much. It was a pleasure talking to you. Click like and subscribe when you get a chance, and don't forget, go back over the other World Peace Jubilees as well, and the other P S Gilmore stories, because honestly, this story is truly massive. Thank you. Bye now. Bye bye.